It is Thursday, May 5th in the MLB, and this is Austin from Calling Our Shot.
And I'm Logan from Calling Our Shot.
And we are back with another edition of our MLB Best Bets. We got a over-under, we got a player prop, and we got a no-run first inning coming your guys' way.
As always, mash that subscribe button. It really helps us grow this channel. Austin, 33,000. We're closing in on it. And at 33,000, we are doing a giveaway parlay. So even more incentive to subscribe if you already aren't. We're doing these picks videos every single day. Austin's killing it in the NBA. We're hopefully going to be killing it in the MLB once again today.
Yeah, only about 670 subscribers away from it. So, or maybe 770. I don't know. I can't do math. But either way, we appreciate all the people that are joining the community. Thank you guys all so much for hitting that subscribe button. If you want to drop a like too, we would appreciate that. Comment below your best bet for MLB slate. We don't have any NBA games on today. So hopefully if there are some NBA viewers here, we appreciate you. These are the daily MLB videos. But we'll be back to our normal NBA daily videos. Probably they'll be posted later on tonight. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Shout out to our COS All-Stars. Actually, before we shout out our COS All-Stars, Logan, let's get into a recap of yesterday. A winning day. We bounced back. Now in the NBA, we were 2-0. Max Strus and Powell goes under, but this is MLB. We had Rockies money line. Great call on that one. They scored all their 5 runs in 1 inning. Didn't really matter. That's all we needed. Abraham Toro, under 0.5 bases, a quick 0-3 for him. A lot of contact. We'll talk about him maybe a little bit later. And the Padres versus the Guardians, NRFI. NRFI Nation was at half staff yesterday. You hate to see that, but we're going to keep getting after it, and we're going to get back into it. So shout out again to our COS All-Stars. We appreciate you guys all for supporting the channel. If you want to support us, click the link in the description or click the join button on the channel. Only $2.99 a month. Plus, you get the plays early, so definitely check it out. Logan, let's get the show started. Let's get into our first play of the day, and let's go back for another winning day. We're up 6.75 units on the year. Let's make that 9.75.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. And we're going with the earliest game on the slate, so get your bets in. Angels versus Red Sox. I'm taking the over 8 total runs in this one. Minus 110 odds on DraftKings. As Austin's pulling up Odds Jam, our sponsor here, this is how I'm hunting for value. I see that, it's pretty much minus 110. That's the standard odds here. Now, I would like it a lot more at over 7.5, but I don't think I'm going to find that line. Probably not. If you do have 7.5, I would take the over if that's what your book's offering, but I didn't see any this morning at the time of recording. So we're going to ride with 8. If it pushes, it pushes. If it goes way under, well, I'm a clown then. But Rich Hill should be pitching for the Red Sox today. 0-0 and 4 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts. I mean, the zeros are great news for underbettors, but the 4 earned runs, I've watched Rich Hill, old man Rich Hill is what I call him, pitch before. He pitches, a lot of meatballs over the plate, and he does not pitch hard, right? He's you don't normally pitching in the 80s because he just can't get his velocity up. Well, you know what? If the Angels decide, hey, we're just gonna spray the ball all over the field today, that would be great news to get those runners on base. The Angels are also batting .272 versus left-handed pitchers. Rich Hill is a lefty, and the Angels offense. This is like pretty much a top 5 offense as well. They're 5th in runs, 4th in walks, and 6th in hits. I mean, you saw what they did last night in extra innings when they needed it the most. Yeah, how's 10 runs sound? I mean, that's amazing for their full game. This is an offense that I can certainly trust. Now I pulled some of their splits versus Rich Hill. Rendon batting .286 versus Hill. Wade 500 versus Hill. I wanted to find, the better hitters like the Mike Trouts of the world. He only faced him once, so not a whole lot of data there. But on the other side of the mountain, right? So we got old man Rich Hill covered. Now, young buck Shohei Ohtani, right? Everyone knows who Shohei is, right? 2-0 and 6 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts. So, I mean, the 6 earned run type game for Ohtani is possible, right? He's done it before. And is Boston the team to be able to do it? Sure. They're batting decent enough at home. They're batting .251 at home in 2022. This is a Red Sox backs up against the wall kind of moment. Let's see them hit Shohei Ohtani. I think they can do it. I certainly do. They're 23rd in runs, which is definitely problematic, for an over. But we've seen them be able to have games where they outburst out of nowhere. They're 10th in hits, which is solid because if you're at least getting the hits, that will eventually translate to runs. And they're 8th in strikeouts, so they're not swinging, at anything and everything. At least they shouldn't be today. And I pulled some of their hitting splits again versus Ohtani. Kike Hernandez, batting .333 versus Ohtani. Devers, .250. JD Martinez, .333 versus Ohtani. So some of these batters on the Red Sox side have seen him before, and they have hit him before. And I hope they can do so, again today. Now, starting pitchers aside, a full game over under. We're talking about the bullpens, and this is what makes me feel pretty decent about it. Boston's 24th in bullpen ERA. The Angels 18th in bullpen ERA. Two back of the pack, bullpens that I've seen with my own eyes watching these games give up a lot of runs. I find them both to be untrustworthy, honestly. The Angels bullpen, one of the more recent, encounters. We had the White Sox game. Yeah, the Angels bullpen came up and gave 5 earned runs, all in at the end of the game. It's possible. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I want in the over. That's why I'm taking the full game over in this one. But Austin, I know you got a player prop for us. What do you got for us today?
We are back with another player prop. Yesterday we had the Toro under 0.5 bases. Was a little sweaty taking it under. Basically, guy can't get a hit, but it was plus 115. We'll take the value. Also, side note for that Angels over, Shohei Ohtani hitting 300 at Fenway Park. Obviously, he's a lefty, so he just has to pull it. Boom, quick pinch hit, and that's out of the park. But either way, we're going to a player prop. And we're going with the guy that's actually been very good this year. We're taking Shane McClanahan, taking his under 7.5 strikeouts. Now, when we look at the only thing I don't love about this is that at the moment, well, FanDuel's the only book with a line for McClanahan. It's minus 136 on the under 7.5. I truthfully have no idea. I have no idea if that's a good line, if that's a bad line. There's really no way to know. I know Prize Picks is at 7, which honestly I'd probably avoid because I could see that pushing at 7 once you hear how he's done this season. But still, let's look at McClanahan. Been terrific. 11, 7, 9, 8, and 7 strikeouts. So getting really close. His only 2 unders are on the hook, which, we'll take it. We'll take that if that's what it comes to. But he's been very good. That 11 strikeouts is alarming. You're like, oh no, what's going to go down with Shane McClanahan? Let's look at the 3 games he went over, though. They're against the Twins. They're against the Cubs, the Athletics. The other 2 games were against Baltimore and Boston. I put 21st, 22nd, and 28th. Those are the 3 teams in terms of the strikeouts. So they're all top 10 teams in terms of teams that have struck out the most this season. Then you look at, he obviously went under against Baltimore, who struck out the most this year. And then we look at Boston, he had 7 strikeouts against them. They're a pretty above average team in terms of striking out. Now let's look at the Mariners. Team that is 12th in strikeouts. A team that's better than average in terms of striking out. They're not going to be a team that's going to strike out a ton. They strike out even less at home. In fact, the 9th fewest strikeouts at home this season. And like I said about Toro and the Seattle Mariners, they love to hit to contact. We just saw Verlander. We saw a lot of people taking his overs yesterday in strikeouts. Best thing, he was like 3 innings. The guy went 6 and I think 2/3 innings. Yeah, no, he only had 3 strikeouts. Now, we look at all the starting pitchers for Seattle this season. 23 of 25 have gone under 7.5 strikeouts. Now, the only 2 guys that went over, Rasmussen, another former Tampa Bay Rays starter, he had 9 Ks. Then Verlander earlier on this season at 8 Ks versus them. Both of those guys are right-handed pitchers. McClanahan is a lefty. And in fact, all 5 left-handed starters to start versus Seattle are under this line. The most that any starter had was 5 strikeouts. That was Jesus Luzardo of the Marlins, who has been pretty good at striking out batters this season. Now, I got to give McClanahan some props. We also have to talk about left-handers in general. Seattle has a 21.5% strikeout percentage against lefties. And Shane McClanahan has averaged a 39.3% strikeout percentage, a ridiculous number. The guy's been striking out people like crazy. I mean, he's arguably been one of the best pitchers I think he leads the league in strikeouts. So sketchy taking an under for him, but still, when we look at McClanahan, we look at a guy we look at Seattle also drawing the 3rd most walks this season. So they can drive up that pitch count. I think they can get it done. I know it's sketchy taking an under 7.5 strikeouts. Hopefully this minus 136 is maybe exactly what other books give us. I don't want to see the line go down to 6.5 because then it'll be a little bit sketched out, but I think McClanahan under 7.5 strikeouts, pretty good bet. That will be my player prop of the day. Let's go for back-to-back winners. But Logan, we all know what time it is. It is the best time of the segment. It is NRFI Nation time. And yesterday we took a loss. We took a loss, and we didn't love to see that. And today we're going back, and we're going back for some value. And here's the NRFI. We're going Tigers versus Astros. We're taking the no run first inning. Now on the mound for Detroit. Well, let's take a step back. They didn't score first inning run in their 2 games yesterday. They had a doubleheader, no runs. So let's duplicate that today. On the mound for the Tigers is the man I love, sort of. Tariq Skubal. He has a 3.05 ERA, much better than he was last year. Last year he was very erratic. This year he's been showing a lot of improvement, just like McClanahan. He's been a guy that's shown a lot of improvement year over year. And we look at Houston, not been all too good. They're batting a 201 versus left-handed pitchers. Obviously, Skubal is a lefty in this season. And they're also 24th in first inning runs. So I really think Skubal can handle that side of the mound. What about the other side of the mound, Logan?
All right, it's scheduled to be Urquidy. And yes, I know Urquidy coming in there with that 5.95 ERA. That's high. You look at that for first glance and you're like, "Ooh, Logan, can I trust that?" Well, he is pitching at home, and at home his ERA drops to 3.18, which is more standard ERA. Also, when you're looking at these no-run first innings, value, you have to look at bad offenses, or at least offenses that start slow. Detroit 26 in first inning runs. And to clarify what you said earlier, Detroit is the team that didn't score a first inning run in 2 games yesterday. They played that doubleheader versus the Pirates, and no first inning runs. That's music to our ears when we're picking a no-run first inning, because you know what? Their bats are hot in the first inning, tend to shy away from it, but they're clearly starting slow. Now, other ones we considered. I considered the Marlins versus Padres one, but that one had, incredibly juice value, like 140, 150 range. And this is a PSA to Nerfy Nation. The books are on to us. They knew we were being too profitable, so they started juicing them really high. And then, when we take a loss on a juice Nerfy, really doesn't sit well with me, because I'm like, this is more of a coin flip bet, so it should reflect more of a coin flip odds, like -110, -114, like we're picking today. So if you took that one, I wouldn't call you crazy, but I would say I wish it had better value. Twins versus Orioles one is another one. 2 low ERA pitchers, still sketches me out though, because there's a lot of good hitters, especially at the top of the Twins order. And Mets versus Phillies is another one that we considered. I like the pitching matchup in that one. So those are other no-run first innings that we consider. Look at the value on your books, and you have to ask yourself, can I live with the result here, Nerfy Nation? And I hope it's good value for you, because that's what we're hunting for at the end of the day.
100%. We were 17-9 on Nerfies this season. I want that to be 18-9. So that's what we're going for today. Those are our 3 plays: Tigers, Astros, Nerfy. We got the Angels, Red Sox over 8 runs, which is an early first pitch. And then Shane McClanahan under 7.5 strikeouts. Drop your best bets down below. If you want to become an all-star, click that join button on the channel. Our parlay of the day will be posted on Odd Gym a little bit later on this morning. We appreciate you guys as always. It's been Austin. It's been Logan. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Happy Cinco de Mayo as well.